At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead, scan the QR code now.
Go ahead and take some time to scan that QR code and join our friends over at AMAC. In the meantime, we are getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Pre-market trading, kind of a mixed bag. As you can see, the Dow is down a little bit. Pretty much everything other than crude oil on our board up at the moment, or at least kind of flat. We, of course, will continue to monitor it for you. And again, here in just a few minutes, we'll take you to the New York Stock Exchange for the opening bell, as we do pretty much every morning. First, though, let's get you over to David Brody. David, that green on our board may be kind of foreshadowing that we're going to talk to two Jets fans.
Oh, so nicely played. Yes, correct. That's what's going to happen. So let's do that now. Time for our daily dose of dollars and common sense with American Sunrise early edition host, the guy behind the Jake's Takes, Substacks, and a former boxer, by the way, who went by the name of the Gefilte Fish Kid. That's not true. That is not true. Oh, and a Jets fan, Jake Novak. Gefilte Fish Kid, really? That's intimidating.
That's right. I got the horseradish haymaker coming right at you now.
Horseradish haymaker. Oh my gosh. I've never heard gefilte fish and boxing in the same sentence until now. Okay. Jake, it's been a few days now in a row of steep sell-offs in the stock market. Now we're seeing some green this morning. Is this a bear market, though, happening right now? What's going on? Help me out.
Well, we could be on the verge of that. I think, listen, only a fool says we're definitely not having a bear market or we're definitely not having a bull market. There's a lot of fools who do that and get paid to do that. And then like Jim Cramer, who never gets any punishment at all for all of his bad calls. So I'm just going to give it to you straight. I'm concerned. I don't think that I don't love the fact that so much money went into AI and these investors keep getting cold feet about it. They're like these bachelors with a 10-year engagement and they keep going back and forth like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then they do. So we're going to find out later today. Nvidia, my favorite non-sexy company, very hard to talk about on TV because there's no good video to show you. But Nvidia, they make AI chips. I know it's boring as heck, but they are going to report not only their earnings, but more importantly, give us their outlook for the rest of the year and for next year later today after the closing bell. Investors are waiting on that. So one of the reasons why Terrence was showing basically a flat day is because a lot of investors are just going to keep their powder dry until they see the Nvidia numbers. Some crazies will heavily bet one way or the other because they got the money to burn, but most of them are going to keep their powder dry today. And I'm going to let you know tomorrow whether I think we're headed for a bear market or not. I think that the economy is generally okay. It's a B- economy, whereas you got to be D or D- for a huge recession to have it happen or worse. But, I got to find out what happens with these stocks and this overinvestment in AI, which they're trying to justify every other day.
Interesting. A B-. Real quick, just to follow up on that. So when Trump came into office, what was the economy from a grade perspective? You're saying it's improved to a B-, though.
Yeah, we were at a D because we had runaway inflation. Inflation doesn't just stop; it is growing much slower. Thank goodness, we've had a slowing of inflation, and we've also had some deflation in some key prices, most notably gasoline and eggs. But we're still in a situation where we have a lot of work to do, and the Trump administration is very much on page with this. I don't know if you like all their solutions, but they're certainly paying attention to it. This is not a in the bubble George Bush looking at his watch. I don't want to talk about the economy kind of administration.
Yeah, good point. All right, let's talk about the price of gefilte fish. No, let's not do that. But you mentioned gefilte fish. Now we're going to talk about Shakira somehow. I have no idea how this is a business segment, but as we all know, Shakira's hips don't lie. I can't believe I said that. But when it comes to economic sentiment surveys, America's lips do lie. That was very nicely played by you. The Christmas season retailers know this, so explain. Very, very wonderfully written, by the way.
Yeah, I don't love economic reports, you know that. And my least favorite is the consumer sentiment one. What person is going to whistle past the graveyard and tell the pollster, like, yeah, I'm feeling great. I got money coming out my wazoo. I'm rich. Yes, rich, like Scrooge McDuck or Daffy Duck. That's not what anyone ever says to these pollsters. And so very often they basically downplay what they really think about the economy. What we really need to see is what your hips are doing, what your credit card's doing, what your money's doing. And the big retailers out there are already seeing signs of heavy spending for the Christmas season. They are expecting good numbers. Not everyone's going to reap that reward. We had Target just come out now and say they're not doing so great, but that's because Target's competitors are eating their lunch a little bit. So that's what's going on here. Remember, the consumer sentiment report is a worthless report unless you're just betting on the number with a friend and you do a little side bet. Other than that, it tells you nothing.
Yeah, got it. By the way, getting news about Larry Summers resigning.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about that? Because the whole AI company, I know he goes back to the Clinton administration, but and of course all over
Summers
Epstein. Go ahead. We got about 20
seconds. If you're
seconds.
looking for a big loser in this whole Epstein files thing, the biggest loser this week by far is Larry Summers, former Harvard president, former Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton, currently a university professor at Harvard, which is the highest level of academia you can achieve. These emails that he sent Jeffrey Epstein as late as 2019, 6 years after his first conviction, just before his biggest last conviction, filled with disgusting not innuendo, just details of his affair, an affair he was having outside of his marriage with a Chinese economist, asking for advice, saying that Epstein is his wingman. I'm convinced that a lot of Epstein's business had to do with a lot of rich, powerful people who didn't know how to talk to girls. And so they got involved with Epstein. Summers has had to resign from the board of OpenAI, and he may be out at Harvard too, by the way.
All right, got to run. You're the best. Appreciate you as always. Time now for the stock market opening bell, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
Shout out to the gefilte fish kid, like that. We're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Right on cue. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The markets are now officially open. So let's take a quick look and see how things are looking right now. All right, here's your board. The Dow is up. Actually, the Dow is in the red right now. The S&P 500 is up, as is the Nasdaq. You just saw the Nasdaq just turn. The rest of the board, kind of a mixed bag, and it very likely will be a mixed bag of trading today. We, of course, will continue to monitor it for you throughout the day here on Real America's Voice. In the meantime, it is the one time of year that the Birch Gold Group gives away free gold with every qualifying purchase. That's right. For Black Friday, when you convert an existing IRA or a 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold, the Birch Gold Group will send you free gold to your home for every $20,000 you purchase. Look, gold started this year off around $2,600 an ounce, and by October, it skyrocketed to over $4,000 an ounce. Why, you ask? Well, you can blame global uncertainty. 2025 has been defined by trade wars, and central banks have been pulling away from the U.S. dollar as the gold standard and global reserve currency. Military tension also continues to build. Gold tends to thrive in times of uncertainty like what we're dealing with. If you're looking to diversify your savings, the Birch Gold Group can help you out. Plus, now through November 30th, get free gold with a qualifying purchase. All you have to do is text the word America to the number 989898 and claim your eligibility, and you can get a free information kit on gold. Your opportunity for free gold, however, ends on November 30th, so don't wait. Instead, text the word America to the number 989898 for full details today. Let's take a quick break. When we come back here on American Sunrise, new polling data is painting a potentially grim future for the country, showing a majority of voters under 40 years old want to see a Democratic socialist for president in 2028. We'll break down the numbers and what all this means for you.